too.
Oh, he certainly did. Bob Frederick, of course, athletic director here, was the coach before Paul. And you see a takedown.
And a nice job by Given as he gets his third takedown of the match and leads it 6-3 with a minute 2 to go, second period.
We're mentioning Bob Frederick coaching Paul Marina. Bob Frederick ended his career here with 251 wins, 6 losses, and 2 ties. Kind of incredible.
White trying a switch. Now the escape again by White, 6-4. Reversal, he gets 2 at 6-5.
And that kind of a move, Bob, all the wrestler in the bottom has to do is get behind the top man. He doesn't have to take him to the mat. Once he gets behind, has control, even though they're on their feet, that is a reversal.
So 6-5 for Given. All 6 of his points on takedowns. White with a couple of reversals. And now the point for David Given on the escape at 7-5 for the Paulsboro 103-pounder.
Kind of makes you think that Given, with his 3 takedowns so far, if he gets to take White down again, the smarter move might be to let him go and take him down.
Rather than risk giving the 2.
Yeah. And of course, we saw that a lot down in the last few years down in Virginia at the Deep Creek tournament, Bob, because Great Bridge is in that tournament, and that's all they do is let their guys go and take them down. 20
seconds to wrestle, second period, real tight match, 7-5 lead. Paulsboro's David Given.
And this is no surprise because White and Tenuto of Collingswood had a very close match. I think that was 12-9 or 12-10. And of course, David Given's only lost to James Tenuto 12-11.
5 seconds in the period. And he gets the 2 right before the buzzer. Boy, that's a big 2, John, for Dave Given, making it 9-5. He got that just before the buzzer.
And of course, you'll hear this from the fans, and it's kind of a shame for the kids. But, you know, when there's a injury timeout, there's an injury timeout. And, you know, the referee has to give that because the moment a referee doesn't give an injury timeout and forces a wrestler to wrestle, that wrestler gets hurt. Guess who gets sued, among other people? We mentioned Paul Marina being the coach at Paulsboro in his 11th year. His assistants are all Paulsboro grads. You see Paul Marino and Dean Duca in the corner with Given right now, but Jimmy Pandolfo, John Giovanetti, Carmel Marina, Nicky Marina among the other assistants over there.
That is an all-star lineup, John.
Is it ever? And Steve Anashevsky, their administrative assistant.
Let's go. Third period coming up. Given leading 9-5. White needs a takedown.
You're going to get a penalty point here, Bob. Got a penalty point there for the West Effort wrestler grabbing the headgear during the takedown attempt.
Huh? Yeah, he goes neutral. Yeah, he goes neutral.
Pete DiBiase, the West Effort coach, talking to Joe Dorello. They gave that point to Paulsboro, John.
That's correct. 10-5 is the lead for Given.
Single now by White. He needs a takedown badly. Trailing by 5, minute 35 to wrestle.
Well, the big thing here now, Bob, with going into the last minute and 25 seconds and the clock is running, Green probably, the reason he took neutral this last period, looking for the big throw, looking for the back points off the big throw, his only salvation at this point. I don't think he can peck away at Given with a minute and 20 left.
Got a single again.
Although that's not big throw territory, getting in on a single.
White running out of time, minute 10 to go as Given moves in quickly, and now...
Well, that's the second timeout, injury timeout that West Effort has called, Bob, and the maximum timeouts is 3. If he uses his third, he cannot stop it for injury time again. He's entitled to 2 minutes of injury time, but it can only be taken over a course of 3 stoppages.
He used 45, yes.
Galaxy of former wrestlers here tonight. I saw Mark Reed earlier, who was a second in the state in the heavyweight division. He ironically lost in that 1968 match to Sam Giordano, now a policeman over in East Greenwich Township. But John Craig's father also wrestled in that meet, and he wrestled Alan Clanton and lost to Alan Clanton, and Alan Clanton is here this evening. I saw him. And, of course, Jimmer Shields is here. And Jimmer Shields handed Gene Barber his first loss that year and then beat Gene Barber in the district finals that year.
A lot of connections, Paulsboro and West Effort. A lot more we can talk about, too. 1:03 to go. White has to have a takedown quickly.
And Given is showing that he's the senior out there, and
That's
a takedown.
That's a 10-7, so White still in this match, trailing by 3 with 49 seconds to go.
Let's go!
Got a turn given over. There's a big point for David Given, 11-7.
And notice how he went right back after his opponent, too, Bob. Instead of backing off and looking for a fresh start, he goes right in on him.
No, we're out.
Still neutral.
31 seconds to go.
And the difference between the takedown that White got and that attempt there is White had control and his toes were in bounds when they went out. Given did not have complete control when they crossed the line, so he can't get the 2.
25 seconds to wrestle. Given up by 4, trying to get the Raiders off to a good start. And maneuvers toward the takedown. 13-7.
Big win for Paulsboro, Bob.
7 seconds to go. David Given is going to get the Raiders off to a winning start. And that'll do it. David Given of Paulsboro defeats John White of West Effort in the 103-pound bout, getting the Red Raiders off to a 3-0 lead.
Well, that's a big start for Paulsboro. As I said at the top of the telecast, Bob, Paulsboro, I think if they win 3 of the first 4, are in good shape. 2 of the first 4, they can still win the meet.
A couple of sophomores at 112 pounds. Demian Green of Paulsboro, 13-3 on the season. Merrill Alloway of West Effort, he's 6-2.
Okay, Merrill Alloway is a junior, Bob. He's been through these wars a couple times. He's 6-2. He's been out for part of the season because of a hand injury. He had a broken hand. He lost to Guillermo Berga of Camden Catholic 12-2 last Monday, and he lost in the semifinals of the Yellow Jacket tournament at the beginning of the year down in Delaware. Demian Green, a sophomore, 13-3, lost to Kevin Rucci of Eastern 2-1 in the Caldwell tournament. Rucci, of course, is a state runner-up last year for Eastern. He lost to Mike Mercado in the finals of the Deep Creek tournament. Lost by a technical fall to a very good wrestler, and he moved up a weight and got pinned by Steve Napolitano of Haddon Heights.
Green and Alloway at 112 pounds, no scoring yet, minute 15 to go first period.
Of course, last year, Green was the district champion, beating the Little Hammer from Kingsway, Andy Vallejo, and Green also won the Region 8 tournament, beating Tom Storer from Highland.
Demian Green, Merrill Alloway at 112 pounds, and Green
big takedown
with a takedown.
Oh my!
And back.
Oh my!
He might pin him here. Green with an opportunity to put Alloway away.
Oh my! Oh brother!
40 seconds to go. Lots of time for Green.
Oh my! Look at that half sunk. Oh my! He's got to get that brace on like he's doing right now. Lift that head. Oh, brother.
20 seconds in the period. Green trying to put Alloway away.
Oh, my. This is a big weight class for Paulsboro because I'm sure the coaching staff was looking for a 6-pointer here, or at least a 5-pointer.
5 seconds in the period. And Alloway does a good job of fighting him off.
Oh, he certainly did. What a courage there.
Fall makes it a 5-0 lead for Green, but Alloway, John, just did well to survive the period.
Oh, he certainly did. That's devastating. West Effort's choice, they take the bottom.
Go, let's go.
You know, Demian Green set the tone a year ago, Bob. He was wrestling down at 103 last year, and he pinned Rich McAleer McLear of West Deptford in 1 minute and 11 seconds. McLear entered that bout undefeated, and Green set the tempo. See a stalling warning against West Deptford. Oh my!
Another pinning combination for Green. He got it! 1 minute, 40 seconds to go in the second period. Demian Green of Paulsboro pins Merrill Holloway. Look at the Paulsboro fans. They love it. Big start for the Red Raiders at 103 and 112. We'll take a break from Paulsboro. We'll be right back.
To stop the bleeding. This is another key bout. Oh, brother! No
Good job by Jason Gardner of West Deptford. He's 11 and 5. Steve Starbello 17 and 4 on the season.
And 17 and 4. Those 4 losses, Bob, all in tournament competition at the beginning of the year. Lost to Micah Kahn of Eastern, second in the state last year for Eastern, and he lost Evan Williams of Somerville, both in the Caldwell tournament.
Takedown by Jason Gardner of West Deptford, potentially dangerous called.
Then Sorbello lost twice down at Deep Creek to a wrestler from Gloucester, Virginia, at 9-8, and he lost to a wrestler from Tallwood 5-4. But those are his losses, Bob, all out of the South Jersey area. So this is a key bout for him. Gardner lost in the Yellow Jacket final. He lost to Kevin Van Brill of Clearview 9-5. He lost to Donnie Mertz of Kingsway in an upset. He was winning 12-2, got caught and got pinned. He lost to Steve Napoleano of Haddon Heights by a point, 5-4, and Aaron Taylor of Camden Catholic 13-6.
Gardner with control with 1 minute 10 to go first straight. He leads at 2-0 with the takedown.
Gardner last year beat Sorbello in this dual meet 6-5. Gardner the year before beat Seneca Cooper 16-9. So Gardner knows what has to be done for his team.
.55 seconds in the period. And Gardner maintaining his control, leads it 2-0.
A big key in this match, Bob, could be the third period. Sorbello has looked very, very strong in the third period the last couple of weeks. He's really wrestling with a lot of intensity. Of course, Gardner has been around. He's a veteran.
Keep walking him off the mat. Let's go.
You get a stalling warning against West Deptford. You can hear the official. You can't walk him off the mat.
42 seconds to go in the period. Gardner maintaining his control. West Deptford needing him out. They trail at 9-0. Decision by David Given at 103. Pinned by Demian Green at 112 to give the Red Raiders that quick 9-0 lead. Bottom of the screen right, that's Pete DiBiase, the West Deptford coach. He is an animated coach, John.
He is. He's been a coach at Cumberland. Now he's coaching at West Deptford from Vineland originally. Yes, he gets very animated. He really gets into his matches, and he was telling the official that on the side of the mat that time, he thought that Sorbello was pulling one finger instead of grabbing all the fingers when he was trying to break the hold of Gardner.
Impressive first period for Jason Gardner of West Deptford, 5 seconds to go.
Well, Sorbello's thrown everything at him so far, and Gardner has countered, wrestling very well.
And he gets a neutral. Well, that was a big point for Steve Sorbello with a couple seconds to go in the period, getting the neutral, and a 2-1 lead now after one for Jason Gardner.
Yeah, Steve Sorbello, like several Paulsboro wrestlers, you know, they don't quit. Well, no wrestler should quit, and I'm not saying West Deptford wrestlers quit, but there's 5 seconds to go when he go out of bounds, goes back, and he gets a point in the last 5 seconds, and that is really huge.
Now he gets another one, and we're tied at 2. So they're back to square one. Gardner, of course, with the takedown in the first, and gets another one here. And Joe Dorillo is talking to Pete DiBiase. Does not like Pete's exuberance at this point.
And Dorillo had to take down all the way he had to take down. And DiBiase didn't think he was going to get the takedown. He comes up screaming. I don't think you want to do that with Joe Dorillo.
4-2 lead now as Gardner has his second takedown. Now Another neutral for Sorbello. It's 4-3.
And you notice how when Sorbello gets loose, Gardner's right back after him.
1:24 to go, second period. Really a pivotal early match for West Deptford. They can't afford to lose another one.
Well, they have to stop the bleeding early. 3 of the first 4 were key for Paulsboro. Same thing for West Deptford. Paulsboro's won 2 out of 2, so this is another key bout.
Minute 5 to go. Single by Sorbello.
Stalemate.
So with 56 seconds to go in the second, still a 4-3 Gardner lead on a couple of takedowns. Another even matchup here, just like the 103-pounder, John.
I think any doubt about it. And this is exactly what I expected going in. Last year it was a one-pointer. This year could well be a one-pointer. Both outstanding young men.
25 seconds in the period. And 2 more for Gardner. At 6-3, Jason Gardner with 3 takedowns. And now a little bit of a cushion, 3-point lead over Steve Sorbello.
And the third takedown, and 2 of them right on the line where Gardner got his knees up and had his toes in bounds and had control.
Eight seconds in the period. And here, again, a situation where Gardner has to be careful. Doesn't want to give up a point before the end of the period to Sorbello, getting back in it. 2 seconds. No points.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Bob, if the buzzer didn't run out, there was a Peterson by Sorbello, and he would have had not only 2, he might have gotten back points.
Injury timeout coming up for Jason Gardner. The Paulsboro fans don't like it. John, this is a big match. I saw Boyd Sands here tonight. He is executive director of the NJSIAA, a Pittman resident, former Delsey superintendent, and one of the best all-around officials I think I've ever seen.
He certainly is, and of course, Boyd has a great sense of interest in athletics in South Jersey, and this is the hottest thing in town tonight, and you know, here he is. Joe Galera, the AD from West Deptford, is here. Bill Stubbs, their principal from West Deptford. Likewise with Paulsboro, you have Bob Frederick directing things, and goodness, what a, as you see Pete DiBiase looking on, what an evening outside. I mean, Bob, they were lined up at 2:30 this afternoon outside.
And closed the doors, what, John, around 4 o'clock, I believe.
Yes, they did. Well, you know what Bob set up? He set up tickets to West Deptford parents of their wrestlers. He set up tickets to Paulsboro parents of their wrestlers. He has season ticket holders here. All those people were admitted at 4:30. Once they ran, then he opened the doors to the general sale and had announcing the newspapers that it would be first come, first served. Right? And once the gym was filled to capacity, he had to shut the doors.
Third period coming up as Jason Gardner appears about ready to resume action. He leads at 6-3, but John Vogeting telling us watch Sorbello in the third period. Let's see if Steve can overcome this deficit. Jason Gardner on the bottom as we start the third. A match West Deptford really needs desperately.
No question. No question.
There's a point for Gardner. 7-3 lead now for Jason Gardner.
Looks like a little bit more strength for Jason Gardner. Steve Sorbello has gotten in deep 2 or 3 times, really deep on a neutral position, and Gardner's just repelling him.
Minute 30 to go. Sorbello needing a takedown, trailing by 4. Gardner with a chance to get his team back in it. Sorbello in for a single. No control.
He's got a high leg over here because Gardner has him. There's
Stalemate.
What happens, a stalemate. If you cannot improve that position, you know, the good official's going to not let it go on forever. He's going to stop it with a stalemate call.
Minute 7 to wrestle. 7-3 lead for Gardner. .55 seconds. Sorbello getting the takedown, and it's 7-5. He's back in it.
Well, he has to cut him and try and take him down again. Look for back points.
8-5 as Sorbello lets Gardner go.
And Gardner has a stalling warning, so he can't just get really defensive at this point. Even though he's leading 8-5, he has to keep the pressure on.
31 seconds to go. 8-5 lead for Jason Gardner of West Deptford. His team trailing 9-0, and Gardner again needing an injury timeout.
How much left? How much left? How much left?
Jason Gardner certainly looked good against Aaron Taylor from Camden Catholic, one of the best wrestlers at his position in South Jersey.
15.
He lost to...
He's going to have to stand right up when it's 2 minutes and go.
He lost to Aaron Taylor 13-6. You can hear the officials saying they're counting down, and when it's 2 minutes, if he doesn't stand up and go, he could be disqualified.
Count him down so I can see him.
Well, he's in control, isn't he, John?
5 seconds, 4 seconds.
He's up.
And that was his second timeout. He is entitled to one more, but he only has like 4 or 5 seconds left in injury time.
25 seconds to go. Gardner leading by 3, 8-5. .13 seconds. 6 seconds. Gardner about to put West Deptford on the scoreboard. 2 seconds, 1, and that'll do it. Jason Gardner of West Deptford defeats Steve Sorbello. Final score 8-5, and 3 big points for West Deptford. And John, they needed that.
Unquestionably, that's the key. Again, West Deptford has to go 3 out of 4, or 2 out of 4, down in the bottom weights. And of course, that's one of them. If they win the next one, they're right back in this wrestling match.
Couple of good ones at 125. Marv Hamilton Jr. of Paulsboro, he's 18-2. Tim Narcissi of West Deptford, he's 13-3.
125 pounds for West.
Of course, Tim Narcissi, a senior, his 3 losses. He lost in the semifinals of the Yellow Jacket tournament. He lost to Larry Smashy of Delty 4-3. Lost to Nick Glass of Pittman 5-2.
Hamilton and Narcissi. West Deptford back in it, trailing now 9-3.
Marvin Hamilton Jr. lost in the finals of the Deep Creek tournament. He was pinned. He was only losing 2-1 when he got caught and got pinned. His other loss is to Steve Felder of Woodbury. He lost 4-3 here in a dual meet.
What a great wrestler his dad was, John.
Oh, he certainly was. The first of the Hamilton champions. Marvin was a district champion in 1967 at 130 pounds. He was a district champion the year before that in 66 at 123 pounds. He was a regional champion as a junior, finished 4th in the state. His senior year, he got upset in the Region 4 finals and didn't make it to the state tournament.
Single by Hamilton trying to convert it. Nice job by Narcissi. Real good job.
Had an opportunity to sit next to Tim's mother the other night at the Camden Catholic West Deptford meet, Linda Narcissi. Her husband was originally from Ecuador, Bob. I see, you can hear the officials say there's a cut, so that has to be tended to. You cannot have a wrestler out there who's bleeding.
Match stopped at minute 1 to go in the first period. No score between Hamilton and Narcissi.
Timmy is the fraternal twin of Tom Narcissi, who will wrestle later on this evening.
Okay.
Tom was born 5 minutes ahead of Tim.
Blood nowadays with the blood.
Which might explain the weight differential here, with one being at 125 and the other one being up around 170. The one that's 5 minutes older, of course, got to the table faster.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, we're ready to go again as Narcissi
No injuries.
He's back on the mat. No injuries, Joe DeRillo says.
That's
Like the
blood.
way he's controlling this match.
Yes. And that's blood time. When you have bleeding, you don't have an injury timeout. Linda Narcissi, I found out, was from Barrington. She grew up in Barrington and is a Haddon Heights graduate.
Always glad to see you doing your homework, John. Out there. And the takedown for Hamilton comes at the 36-second mark of the first period. Marvin leads at 2-0.
Another key match for Paulsboro. Marvin Hamilton Jr. has so improved. He wrestled varsity as a freshman. Sophomore year, he had some weight problems and really didn't make the lineup. He was in and out, part of the team. But he had a bad sophomore year. This year, he's come back lean, mean, and he's a fighting machine.
He's behind the back, hands in front of front.
DeRillo is stopping the match for a headgear repair for Hamilton. We're ready to go again with 26 seconds to go. Narcissi very active. But now we get a stall.
You got a stalling warning there, Bob, because the theory is some officials enforce it to the T, some officials are more lenient. But if a man stands up on the bottom, you as the top wrestler, you're called the offensive wrestler, you have to take that man to the mat as quickly as you can. And of course, the guy's running over the mat and you're trailing him, trying to take him down, you're not going to get called for it.
No escape.
No escape because they were out of bounds before Narcissi broke the hold.
2 seconds to go in the period. Hamilton maintaining his control after one period at 125 pounds. Marv Hamilton with a 2-0 lead over Tim Narcissi.
What's effort, down? Defense. What's effort in the defense? In the defense.
You can hear that nice and loud and clear, Bob. Joe DeRillo indicating it was Paulsboro's choice. They deferred to the third period. West Deptford's choice. They took the bottom position. Now it's up to Hamilton to work for the back points.
Just underway in the second. Hamilton on top, leading 2-0.
Marvin Hamilton Jr., of course, called Ham by the family. His father was the first of several district champions for Paulsboro. Of course, people remember Tyrone Hamilton and Jeff Hamilton and Bryant Hamilton. I saw Jeff here earlier this evening, the uncle. I saw Tyrone here, the uncle.
The Paulsboro wrestling connections down through the years, John, are rather amazing.
They are. From generation to generation. Of course, the West Deptford's getting that now.
Now, this has been a great rivalry, John. Even though Paulsboro has dominated as one-sidedly as it has, it's still been a great series.
Oh, it has. It has. There's always a lot of interest because, for the fact, one of the direct facts is that at one time, West Deptford had their sending district. West Deptford people came to Paulsboro, to high school. Oh, my. Oh, brother.
Hamilton has him in
Oh,
trouble.
brother. Oh, my.
There's a deep count.
Oh, my.
They got 2.5 inches up here.
Plenty of time.
Oh, my. Narcissi fighting. What a great fight.
Oh, that's a terrific job. 3-point near fall for Hamilton makes it 5-0, but give Tim Narcissi some credit, John, for escaping that fall.
Just like Alloway earlier, fighting off his back. Just like White fighting David Given. Just like Sir Bowen Gardner fighting. This is what you expect from these first 4 bouts. A lot of fight out there. Great Granby. Great Granby.
Neutral!
Narcissi gets his first point, now trails at 5-1. 43 seconds to go in the second. So Hamilton nearly had the pin, but Narcissi still very much alive in this match.
Well, this is the Hamilton that beat Larry Smashy earlier in the year. Larry Smashy of Delsea was the Region 8 champion last year. Hamilton beat him down at Delsea and had been looking extremely good. He had kind of a lethargic match against Felder of Woodbury, a very good wrestler at 25 pounds, and he lost to him. But that's his only loss in South Jersey.
27 seconds in the second.
Last year, Narcissi pinned David Given at 121 pounds last year, Bob. David Given, 103-pounder, which shows you how much weight Given was giving away last year. He weighed about 110 pounds and wrestled up that weight class where Paulsboro didn't have any depth. And Narcissi pinned Given last year.
9 seconds in the period. Hamilton leading by 4. Two seconds. 1. That'll do it for the second period. And Paulsboro's Marvin Hamilton with a 5-1 lead over Tim Narcissi.
Let's go! Defense! Defense! Up top!
Hamilton's choice in the third period. Gets the advice from his coaching staff. Takes the bottom position.
Narcissi putting up a good battle, John.
Well, and Hamilton so much more improved over last year. You see a stalemate called. He's got fire in his eyes this year, Bob.
Minute 41 to go.
Caution, green!
I got a West Deptford caution. We'll remind people who may not know it, you get 2 cautions free of charge. After that, everyone's a point.
Minute 30 to go.
Hamilton has to move on the bottom. He got his hand trapped that time. He has to battle to get his hand free. He gets tilted here in this situation. It's going to be a back count.
.115 to go. Narcissi trying to turn Hamilton. Running out of time is Narcissi. There's a point. 5-2 now.
And that's a point for West Deptford, Bob. That makes it 5-2. We have another stalemate call. What Hamilton has to do here now in the restart, he has to explode off the bottom. He can't let his wrist get trapped. He can't let Narcissi get the legs in there again.
I like the way Durillo lets him know what's going on, John. Really in charge. Narcissi down by 3 with the top position. And Hamilton comes out. Good job by Hamilton. Big reversal by Hamilton, giving him a 7-2 lead with 30 seconds to go.
Big move by Hamilton.
Now the stall warning on Narcissi on the bottom.
Now Joe Durillo is the referee that wants action.
Hamilton up by 5. His team leading 9-3.
This is a huge win for Paulsboro at this bout, Bob. If Hamilton hangs on to win this one, he's leading 7-2 with 15 to go.
10 seconds. Marv Hamilton of Paulsboro High School about ready to wrap up his 19th win of the season. 3 seconds. That'll do it. Final score 7-2. Hamilton with 3 more team points for Paulsboro. The Red Raiders lead at 12-3. We'll take a break from Paulsboro High School. Don't go away. A lot more great wrestling to come.
Enjoying life tomorrow means choosing
High School, John, a switch in this 130-pound match.
Yes, Bob. Chris Vespi of West Deptford, a junior, 12-7 record. He's wrestling against Casey Brown, sophomore from Paulsboro with a 5-2 record. This is a matchup that the Paulsboro coaching staff wanted. They're saving Seneca Cooper for Mike Lancy in the next weight. Seneca Cooper and Casey Brown both weighed in at 130 pounds for this match. Vespi, was among his 7 losses, he lost twice in the Egg Harbor Township tournament to wrestlers from Lower Cape May and Triton. He lost to Kelly of Kingsway, 18-6. He lost to Camden Catholic, 6-4. And he lost to Zach Bush of Gateway, 13-4. Casey Brown's losses both came up a weight to Declan Moody of Collingswood and Kevin Logue, that one at 140 pounds from Kingsway.
A lot of pressure on Vespi. He needs to win. His team trailing by 9 points at 12-3. So as Vespi against Brown, as the coaches do some juggling.
Well, and this is the first time that Casey Brown has been at this weight this year, Bob. So, you know, will the strategy work or will it backfire? Is he strong enough to have cut to be down at this weight? Or can he dominate as the Paulsboro coaches think he can. This is a strategic move on their part. First time the Browns been down to 130.
No control, 55 seconds to go in the first period. 130 pounds, Casey Brown, Paulsboro. Chris Vespi of West Deptford.
And Vespi trying to get the Merkel on that time. Little move that if he turns his man over, he gets him on his back. Brown has to be alert in this weight. What you're doing here, Bob, is you're matching up a wrestler who's been out in varsity competition 19 times already this season to a wrestler who's been out 7 times.
Big difference, right, John?
Big difference at this time of the year. Even though you're in the practice room, Casey Brown in there, his brother Jason's in there, Seneca Cooper. Yeah, you can work with them, but being out in that mat in a varsity competition, there's a big difference.
Vespi gets the takedown. Big takedown for Chris Vespi. He leads 2-0.
And has looked by far more the aggressor in this bout. Casey Brown cannot get mentally disrupted here. He can't put his head down and start to sulk about this. He was expected to win by his coaching staff, but if he's not going to win, he's got to keep wrestling, not give up extra points.
3 seconds in the period. Chris Vespi of West Deptford with a 2-0 lead over Casey Brown of the Red Raiders. End of 1.
Bob, the last time that West Deptford beat Paulsboro, they won 8 out of 12 bouts. 12 bouts in 1968, 14 bouts nowadays.
Do you like the added weights, John?
No. I don't like 14 weight classes. I don't mind a 215 weight class, although it hurts the smaller schools. But I don't like 14 weight classes. I've just seen so many JV programs disappear. There are just not that many wrestlers on the high school level anymore.
Very few schools have JV programs anymore, John.
Only the big schools. Tri-County Conference, very few teams have a JV program.
Stalemate again called by Joe DeRillo.
Maybe the salvation of the sport is the 7th, 8th grade programs that a lot of schools seem to be having right now. But one of the problems I see with midget wrestling is that they start these youngsters at 5 and under nowadays. By the time they get to the high school level, they have wrestled and wrestled and wrestled, and the better ones have had lots of accolades, and they get to the high school level. If they don't start to have varsity lineup as a freshman, they're gone. They disappear.
Pete DiBiase's done a nice job with the West Deptford program, John.
He certainly has. Certainly has.
I'm all right, thanks.
Injury
In a minute,
timeout
when he
for
finishes, yeah.
Casey Brown of Paulsboro. Chris Vespi of the West Deptford Eagles leading 2-0, and he needs a win for his team. Paulsboro 12, West Deptford 3 through the first 4 weight classes.
Well, and you know, you don't see an explosion off the bottom there, Bob, which is a sign of maybe a tired wrestler. Although he's got the Peterson, he's got 2.
Tied at 2.
March back into him.
And back point. And how about that for a reversal as
Big move,
Casey
Bob.
Brown of Paulsboro with a 5-point move now leads at 5-2.
That's a Peterson, which Paulsboro saw a lot of down that Deep Creek tournament. Great Bridge lives by the Peterson in the Granby.
So Vespi sees his lead evaporate.
Oh my, see, he rushed that. He could have had back point, Casey Brown, and he rushed it.
Good job by Vespi. Back in it now 5-4. With
And
the
putting
reversal.
the pressure on. Putting the pressure on. Oh, brother. West Deptford getting a back count. Got at least 2 points. There
Got
it is.
2. Now the lead for Vespi. This is a seesaw match, so Vespi
On the Merkel.
with a 4-point move to get back and lead 6-5. 10 seconds in the period. Stall warning underneath to Brown. 1 second. That'll do it for the second period. And a good match here at 130 pounds. Chris Vespi of West Efford leading 6-5 over Casey Brown.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, and you got a very tired Casey Brown out there, Bob. He's going to get hit with stalling again. Calls the injury time.
Now the West Efford fans are showing their displeasure.
And the second injury timeout for Casey Brown, and you know he's got to be careful because the most you're allowed is 3.
1 minute used.
1 minute's been used of the 2-minute allotted time. Bob, a little research shows that the last time that Paulsboro got beat by West Efford back in 1968, you could buy a 1967 Corvette for $4,195. You also get 2 loaves of bread for 57 cents.
I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah.
How much was Ivory Soap, John?
Ivory Soap was 5 cents a bar.
What's up? You're up. Your toes down, right?
And of course, this was the day after, back in 1968, that Green Bay beat the Oakland Raiders 33-14 in the Super Bowl in Miami. Tickets were $12 a piece back in those days.
And I had hair, John. Brown on top as we begin the third period. He's trailing 6-5.
You had hair back in 68?
Yes, I did. This is a match that West Efford really has to win.
West Efford warned for stalling.
Now we got warnings both ways. Minute 30 to go. Still 6-5 for Vespi.
Oh, brother. Just missed it. Casey Brown had a right idea there. Great fight by Chris Vespi to stay off his back. He's leading by a point.
Minute 10 to go.
Neutral.
And a neutral as a point for Vespi. His lead now 7-5, but an opportunity for Brown to get it even with a takedown and with a double. And he gets the takedown 7-7.
Oh, he locked his hands. He locked his hands.
Point green for a technical violation on the clash. 1 point green for a technical violation on the clash.
And that gets West Efford up 8-7 now.
Sit down.
Boy, Durillo really lets you know what's going on, John.
Let's go, let's go.
Yep. And the coaches signaled Brown to use a freestyle start, cut him loose, go for the takedown again.
Going back, point green.
Another point for West Efford. Brown doesn't like that. 9-7. Listen to Durillo.
That makes it 10-7, Bob. He needs a big throw here on this takedown.
30 seconds to go. Brown trailing by 3, 10-7. There's a point. Yeah, that's a big point because now Brown can get it even with a takedown. It's 10-8.
Takedown would tie it up. We'll go overtime. There's the 2. Oh, my.
Oh, boy. No points.
Well, Brown's got to get out there and wrestle. He can't debate it at this point.
12 seconds to go. 10-8 lead Vespi. 10 seconds. Brown needs a takedown to get this into overtime. And another point for stalling. It's 10-9 with 6 seconds to go. Brown can win it with a takedown.
It's his last timeout that he can take.
That's it for his timeouts.
Brown appears exhausted. He trails 10-9. 6 seconds to go. He can still win it with a takedown.
He has to take him down or he loses.
Coach Marina
I know it.
with some last-second instructions. 5 seconds. 3. He won't get it. He won't get it. Vespi defeats Brown 10-9. 3 big points for West Deptford. We'll be back with more from Paulsboro after this.
Bob, Mike Clancy 12-7 this year, and this is a matchup that Paulsboro wanted. Kind of backfired with Casey Brown losing 10-9, but they wanted the pit bull out here against Clancy, and they want big points out of him. Cooper 19-1 this year, 104-14 in his career. His lone loss this year was to a returning state champion Nick Angin of Brick Memorial, 6-4 in overtime. Joe DeRoll wastes little time hitting Clancy for stalling.
Minute 15 to go. John, Seneca Cooper, really one of the outstanding unsung athletes in the area. I think tremendous football player, and he's become quite an athlete.
Yes, he has. He missed the beginning of the football season with a hernia operation. Came back, and pound for pound at the end of the year was one of the toughest defensive backs in South Jersey, and an unbelievable guy on the bomb squad coming down on kickoffs. He's one of 6 former Paulsboro wrestlers to have over 100 wins. Matt Suter, the all-time record holder in New Jersey, 138-7-1. Larry DeVault, 122 wins. Jason Suter, 113. Duke DeJoseph, who also wrestled at Cumberland, finished his career with 108 wins. Ernie Maiden, 106 wins. And Seneca Cooper now has 104.
Well, when you consider, John, all the tremendous wrestlers who have come out of Paulsboro High School, for Seneca Cooper to be in that elite category with only 6 winning 100, quite an accomplishment.
It certainly is. Of course, in later years, the wrestlers have benefited from more dual meets and more tournaments than years ago. You look at some of the wrestlers in the 50s and the 60s and the early 70s who had a limited schedule compared to the schedules nowadays. And they may have been great wrestlers too, but they're never going to have statistics youngsters can pile up nowadays.
Cooper on top, 28 seconds to go first period. Seneca leading 2-0. West Deptford with a big win from Vespi at 130 to get back in this. There's a point, second warning against Clancy, so it's a 3-0 Seneca Cooper lead with 10 seconds to go in the period.
Well, and the pit bull here, he's got to keep the pressure on him. He has to get extra team points for his team.
Nice job at countering by Cooper. That'll do it for one period. Seneca Cooper of Paulsboro looking for win number 20 on the season, leading Clancy, Mike Clancy, 3-0.
And of course, these stalling warnings and any other technical violations are cumulative. So he's been hit with a stall. If he were to be hit with an illegal hold, that would be a point. Then the next either stall or technical violation would be 2 points, and then next would be disqualification. It's 1-1, 2, and out.
Top position for Cooper beginning the second period. He's up by 3.
Paulsboro number 2 in South Jersey behind Highland. West Deptford number 3. And you know, I was at Gloucester County doing a match with Steve Vanashevsky, and he mentioned Kingsway having such a great year. By the way, they beat Delsey today to wrap up their division championship in the Tri-County. And I said that they weren't in the top 10, but they are. They're number 9, and I apologize for making that mistake.
Great job by Guy Davidson, his program at Kingsway, John. 3-1 lead now as Cooper allows Clancy to go.
He's done a great job. He gave West Deptford a run for their money. It came right down to the last bout.
Cooper makes the takedown look easy, leads at 5-1.
And of course, Kingsway having a great match with Paulsboro. John Cupsey was in attendance, and you know, had mixed emotions about some of the Paulsboro teams he's seen in the past, but Kingsway gave up quite a battle that night. John Cupsey, of course, not here tonight because his wife, Kathy, is recovering from foot surgery, and he's home being the faithful husband taking care of her.
Another point on the stall. 6-1 lead now for Cooper.
And the next one, Bob, if he gets hit with stalling again, it'll be 2 points.
So Mike Clancy having problems with Seneca Cooper. 30 seconds to go, second period.
And of course, that's to prevent a coach from sending a wrestler out there and saying, just don't get pinned. So if you lay there like a slab of cement, it can cost you.
15 seconds in the period. It's been all Seneca Cooper here at 135 pounds. 5 seconds. Now 2 minutes to wrestle at 135 pounds. Seneca Cooper of Paulsboro with a 6-1 lead over West Defford's Mike Clancy.
And you know, there's no difference in weight. Even though we're at 135 pounds, Bob, both wrestlers weighed in at 130 pounds this evening. Both wrestlers. Clancy weighed 130, Seneca Cooper weighed 130. So Seneca didn't move up to 135-pound weight class and get a heavier wrestler. He has a taller wrestler, which presents problems to shorter wrestlers sometimes, but there is no weight differential.
Top position for Clancy. He needs to offensive action here to get back in this match. Needs to turn Seneca Cooper over, trailing 6-1. Just 7 seconds into the third period.
And I think more than turning Cooper over, he's thinking that let's not let him have too many more points, because then it becomes a major decision or possibly lead toward a tech fall.
Reversal 2.
Reversal gives Seneca a 7-1 lead, or an 8-1 lead.
8-1, and pretty soon, if he's having trouble in the bottom, you heard Joe Durrell start to count there, Bob, 1,001. When you trap the ankle after you reverse somebody, you have about 5 seconds to release the ankle, or you know, you can get hit with a stalling call yourself.
Potentially dangerous called by Durrell.
Dangerous on the elbow. Potentially dangerous on the elbow.
See, Seneca's already looking over to his coach to ask if he should take the freestyle start and cut him loose and try and take him down. But the advice right now is to stay right on him. Try to turn him. And of course, coaching staff and Seneca are aware this guy has 2 stalling calls against him already, Mike Clancy. The next one is 2 points.
Minute to wrestle.
Stalemate. Now's the time I would cut him, Bob. I'd cut him loose.
Get the center. I'm going to 2. The next one is 2.
Next one is 2. There's Joe Durrell. Good official is right aware of what's happening. You get caught up in the emotion of the thing. And he was over there to check and make sure what the next one's going to be in case he has to do it again. And you see the freestyle start coming up.
Here you go, West Defford. Here you go. Here you go. On top.
So he'll give him the point. 8-2 now for Cooper. 8-2.
Clancy's got to be careful. If he keeps backing up, he's going to get hit with stalling in a neutral position. Can't go right to the sideline. He's got to stay in that circle and battle.
44 seconds to go.
Nice move.
Easy 2 for Cooper. 10-2 lead.
Now that's a major decision right now. That's 4 points.
.28 seconds to go.
Well, Clancy only gives up 4 points here, Bob. It's a kind of a moral win for them, for his team and teammates. Get ready to hit him again if he doesn't move. There it is.
Yep, that's 2. And 12-2 for Cooper. 13 seconds to go.
And Cooper doing everything he can, but the man doesn't want to get pinned. This is the perfect way to do it.
3 seconds to go. It's a big win for Seneca Cooper of Paulsboro at 135 pounds. 12-2 over Mike Clancy. And 4 big team points for Paulsboro. They now lead at 16-6. So Seneca Cooper with win number 20 on the season.
Win number 20 this season, win 105 in his career. Keeps moving up the ladder. Second in the districts last year and a Region 8 champion.
Kurt Clark of West Defford and George Wilson of Paulsboro at 140. Wilson the favorite in this one. He is 20-1 on the season.
Yes, his only loss was to Derek Werfel of Millville, and I was at that match, Bob, and I really thought George was maybe not feeling good that day because it went back and forth, the scoring back and forth, and in the third period just looked like George ran out of gas and he got pinned. But he won the Deep Creek tournament, he won the Caldwell tournament, Kirk Clark, a senior, 10 wins and 8 losses. So this is another weight class that Paulsboro is counting on to get more than 3 points.
West Efford with a couple of wins, one by Gardner and one by Vespi. Paulsboro's won the other 4 weight classes as we head into 140 pounds.
Interesting to see what happens at 145 also, because if George Wilson wins here, this is the halfway point.
Wilson with a takedown leads 2-0 over Kurt Clark.
And I think Paulsboro will be forced with a decision. Do they send Jason Brown out at that point at 145 to wrestle Mike Kendrick? Or do they send Richard Gaines out to wrestle Mike Kendrick? Could be a pivotal move coming up next.
Minute 5 in the first, 2-0 lead for George Wilson on the takedown.
George Wilson, of course, a 2-year varsity starter prior to last year, and he had troubles with his weight last year and ended up not wrestling for the team after several weeks. He was in the lineup in '93 when Paulsboro won 40-23. He won at 160 pounds back then. Decision Aldo Catalana.
All the way down to 140 now, John.
Yep.
That's a big drop.
In '94, he was in the lineup at 145 pounds, and he won 9-2. And of course, last year he was not in the lineup.
30 seconds in the period.
Georgie Wilson, of course, the nephew of Matt Suter and Jason Suter. Georgie's mother was a member of the Suter clan from Gibbstown. Matt Suter, of course, a redshirt sophomore out at Arizona State.
Having a big year, isn't he?
Yes, he is, Bob. He won again Friday, and he's ranked #1 in the Pac-10. Has a tough one on Sunday. He wrestles at Joe Williams from the University of Iowa. Lost to him in the Midlands by decision.
5 seconds to go in the period. And George Wilson leading. Kurt Clark 2-0 after 1.
What's that for choice?
Interestingly, the latest amateur wrestling news, West Efford defers.
Neutral? Neutral position, Paulsboro.
Latest amateur wrestling news, they listed all these 158-pounders to look forward to in March at the national tournament at Minnesota, and they did not mention Matt Suter's name. That could come back and haunt them.
Second period underway as Wilson took the option for the neutral position, leading 2-0.
And if you take that option, you have to take the man down.
16-16 lead for Paulsboro.
Stalemate called. Back in '68, Bob, the winner at 106 pounds for Paulsboro was Kenny Ridinger, who's now the chief of police in this community.
John, your wealth of knowledge about wrestling never ceases to amaze me.
Of course, there were a couple brothers in the lineup from West Efford. Brian Reed, who beat Wayne Keeley that night, 5-2, and Mark Reed, who lost to Sam Giordano, beat Sam in the district final.
And Mark Reed, one of the great horse trainers in the country, John.
He was. Has since given up that occupation. Now has a heating firm and has 3 or 4 people working for him. He has sons going to Rancocas Valley High School. One graduated and is now at William & Mary, good football player. Was a heavyweight wrestler for him.
He had a great career training horses.
Yes, he did.
Takedown for Wilson. His second leads 4-0.
Oh, and he gets those legs in. When he gets those legs in, he cranks. Oh, my.
Doesn't hold.
I wouldn't want to be on the bottom.
He's got 3.
Oh, brother. That's painful. Oh, my. Oh. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Wilson trying to put away Clark.
Oh, my.
It's close.
Oh, brother. Oh, my.
He got him. 17 seconds to go in the period. George Wilson pins Kurt Clark. 6 big points for Paulsboro in their lead now, 22-6.
Amazing. Bob, that was so big for Paulsboro. We're at the 7th foul. We're at the halfway point, and a 22-6 lead.
Did you expect this fast to start, John?
Bob, I thought that Paulsboro was capable of it, but 3 of the first 4 were the key. Paulsboro won 3 of the first 4. They could have easily lost 3 of the first 4, and if they had, it could have been curtains.
145 pounds. Big hand.
Mike Kendrick and Jason Brown.
Okay. A couple of guys having real good seasons. Jason Brown is 17-1. Mike Kendrick is 7-1. And quickly the takedown for Brown. He allows Kendrick to go. It's 2-1.
A very typical Jason Brown start. He's tough on his feet. Recently he's been letting the guys go and taking them down. That's fine if it works. Mike Kendrick 7-1, a junior. His only loss this year to Jamie Howard at Gateway, 6-4. Jason Brown, as you mentioned, having a great year, 17-1.
Point slam! Point slam!
His only loss to Jim DeMays of Delran. Interestingly, Mike Kendrick wanted to get up right away. As soon as the official said point slam, the coaches rushed to the side, and he went down pretty fast.
John?
Here we say it again. Jason gets in on the double. Brings it in tight. Lifts him off the mat. And that's a slam. That is a slam. You lift him off the mat, you have to put him back on carefully. And that certainly wasn't being very careful. If he cannot continue, he wins by injury default. That could change the whole complexion of the match.
Mike Kendrick being tended to now. Joe DeRillo over there looking. We're stopped with 1:23 to go in the first period.
That was a great call, by the way. Kendrick's first instinct was to get up right away. Coaches being there is the thing to do, because if he's hurt at all, they're going to be there to tend to him. And it's best for him to recover, to get down, see how he feels.
He was stunned, John, when he hit the mat.
Yes, he was, which is the first reaction. Getting stunned like that, to sit and try to get back up, the best thing to do is to stay down, have it treated.
Time! How much time?
And Joe DeRillo talking
Oh,
to
you better run that clock! Run the clock!
He's asking how much time out was used over there. And
keep it running.
Seemed to be an indication that the injury clock was never started. He called the slam, and I don't know whether he ever gave the signal to start the injury clock or not.
20 seconds left. 20 seconds left.
Now you heard it from Joe DeRillo.
Yeah, and I certainly don't think Kendrick's going to continue, my personal opinion.
Let me know when it's 10. Let me know when it's 10. Count down.
First notice that P.T. Biasi never came out here in the mat. Greg Lay is out there. Vince Layton is out there.
Let's go, Coach. Make a call right now, Coach. Make a call, Coach. Let's go. Shake hands. Shake hands.
So that's going to be 6 big points, John, for West Deptford, as Kendrick unable to continue.
37 seconds in the first period.
Injury default.
Injury default, and that gets West Deptford right back in the match, John.
It certainly does.
22-12. Certainly didn't expect it that way.
Well, and the replay, I want to emphasize again, Bobby, replay clearly showed that was a slam. You take him off the mat, you got to put him back on the mat safely. And this is not going back to the mat safely. Whether the wrestler could continue is a moot point. You have to look out for his well-being. Remember, Bill Himman in the state finals one time got called for a slam and had to lose by injury default. Here it is.
Okay, all right.
Here it is again, off the mat, boom, right on the back of the backhand, Bob. That is a slam.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't want to get people out there. Bob, do you have any water, please? Get a little water, please.
So everybody concerned about Mike Kendrick. We'll take a break from Paulsboro High School. 22-12, the Red Raiders leading West Deptford. We'll be back after this.
Thinking about a GE appliance or TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value, Gloucester County's longest established GE dealer. Weiss has a complete line of GE appliances and TVs, along with hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanics tools, and electrical supplies. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Mike Kendrick away. John, we had about a 30-minute delay waiting for the ambulance to get here and remove the young man from the mat. Of course, reviewing what happened, Jason Brown called for an illegal slam on Mike Kendrick. The Paulsboro trainer indicating to official Joe Durillo that Kendrick was unable to continue, so the injury default to West Deptford, 6 big points, 22-12. That is a big turnabout in this match, John.
No question. Could be considered as much as a 9 to a 12-point swing. The 6 points that West Deptford gets for the injury default win compared to a minimum of 3 points you think Jason Brown would have gotten had he won. So instead of being a minimum of 25 to 6, it's 22 to 12 right now, and that's a huge swing for West Deptford. And without a doubt, we reiterate again, that was definitely an illegal slam. Perfect call by the official. And, you know, safety first. Instinctively, it looked like the wrestler wanted to get up and continue, but you have to look for safety first in that situation.
Let's see it again, John.
Jason Brown, of course, had gotten a takedown and turned his man loose right away. So, you know, you have to go in and take the man down again, and Brown gets in deep. It looks like he could have done this all day. But now, when you get the man in a double leg situation like that, and you come up to your feet and you lift him off the mat, you have to put him back safely. When you drop him from shoulder level right to the square in the middle of his back and his neck area, that is a slam. You see Joe Durillo come right in there without hesitation, calls the illegal slam right away. There's 1 point. And, of course, the first thing you want your wrestler to do is to get down. So even though it looks like there goes Kendrick back down, I mean, there's nobody yelling at him to go down at that point. That stunned him, and they have to look at him.
John, these next two weight classes critical for West Deptford, and an opportunity for them to get this match even.
Well, you got John Craig 16-1. You got Brad Endricken 13-2. Both heavily favored in the next two bouts. And I think West Deptford's looking for a minimum of 10 points here. A 6 point, and a 4 point. You can hear Joe Durillo yelling to us. He gave him 2 minutes to loosen up, and now we get back to action. Critical part of the meet for Paulsboro.
152 pounds. For West Deptford, John Craig.
So John Craig will go for West Deptford. He is 16-1. Richard Gaines 1-3 for Paulsboro.
Right.
And Craig in quickly on Gaines.
And how ironic, the last time that West Deptford beat Paulsboro, his father was in the lineup. And here's John Craig, who wrestled at Chalik last year and was the district champion for them. Now West Deptford, and he's 16-1. His only loss this year was in the Yellow Jacket tournament, the first weekend of the season.
20 seconds into the 152-pound match. Paulsboro now 22-12 in the lead, but that lead in jeopardy with West Deptford should be favored to win these next two weight classes.
Gaines, a tough athlete. He played football last year on the unbeaten Paulsboro football team, which ran its South Jersey record of 40 wins in a row. He was a backup running back for the team.
Takedown for John Craig. He leads 2-0.
And I think what the instructions here and having Gaines wrestle from the Paulsboro coaching staff is to go out there and give us a tough 6 minutes, be as tough as you can.
A lot of pressure on Gaines in this situation.
There is a lot, Bob. You know, we mentioned earlier that Paulsboro won 208 consecutive Colonial Conference meets coming into this one. Ironically, the last time West Deptford beat Paulsboro in 1968, that was the only losing season in Paulsboro history, 4-9. How well I remember that, being an assistant to Sam Evangelista back then. Since that time, Bob, since that year, that 1968 year, Paulsboro wrestling teams have rung up 497 wins, 11 losses, and 5 ties going into tonight.
That is a mind-boggling record.
Truly incredible. And during that time, had a streak of 84 straight, stopped by Rancocas Valley in 76. That's when Bob Frederick was coaching. A streak of 96 straight in this gym, stopped by Cherry Hill East on January 23rd, 1982. They had a streak of 125 without a loss. Some ties in there. Stopped by Delaware Valley on January 28th, 1989. And an 87 meet winning streak and 167 without a loss on a South Jersey team, stopped by Delsey, 33-31 on January 13th, 1993.
10 seconds to go in the period. Good job by Gaines as Craig was trying to maneuver him into position for some back points. 2-0 lead for John Craig.
Steve Isles, by the way, the coach of that Delsey team that beat Paulsboro 33-31, is in attendance this evening.
3 seconds in the period. So end of one. West Deptford's John Craig leading Richard Gaines of Paulsboro 2-0.
Neutral! Neutral!
Richard Gaines wants the neutral position.
Go!
Which is not a bad choice. It took Craig quite a bit of time in the first period to get the takedown. Of course, there's a lot of the feeling out process that goes on in a period sometimes.
"15 seconds into the second period. Still neutral. Now Craig gets the 2 and leads 4-0. John Craig 16-1 in the season, having a terrific year for their Eagles.
Sure is. He and Brad Entricken, who will wrestle in the next weight class, both weighed in at 152 pounds for this match. Richard Gaines weighed in at 143 pounds, Bob. He's giving away 9 pounds here. The feeling was, according to what the score was at the time, that he could have gone at 145 pounds where Jason Brown wrestled.
Stall warning underneath to Gaines.
And of course, you know, if you get stalled out in a match, you can end up giving away 6 points also.
Craig, of course, in this situation, John, looking for more than the 3-point decision. There's a point. 5-0. And good job by Gaines as he gets a point. 5-1.
Go to your coach! Go to your coach! Go! West Deptford! All right. Let's go.
There's
Let's go.
a situation where the official thought the wrestler was hurt and called timeout, injury time himself. Now that still counts, even though the coach didn't come over and ask for the injury timeout. And you're allowed 3 stoppages. After that, you have to wrestle if you can.
30 seconds in the period. Still neutral. 5-1 lead for John Craig. Paulsboro 22, West Deptford 12. In a key stretch in the match. These next couple of weight classes. Two more for John Craig on a takedown. Now leads it 7-1.
And if he had more mat space, Bob, he'd have easy back points, but he runs out of mat space.
3 seconds to go in the period.
Nice cradle takedown by John Craig.
And Richard Gaines calling for an injury timeout. Paul Marina, magnificent job as the head coach at Paulsboro High School, really following a legend in Bob Frederick, and he has certainly created his own legend, John.
He sure has. You look at Bob Frederick's record when he was the head coach at Paulsboro, and you see him retire with 251 wins, 6 losses, 2 ties, and you say to yourself, geez, how can you better that? So far, Paul Marina is tracking him pretty closely.
And Pete DiBiase, the West Deptford coach, talking to his wrestler, John Craig. 3 seconds to go in the period as Gaines is ready to resume action.
Last time Paulsboro lost in the Photo Conference, Bob, was on February 3rd, 1971 to Haddon Township. 12 weights back in those days, and ironically, Haddon Township that year only had 11 wrestlers. They always forfeited one weight class. Gary Mirza either wrestled 178 or heavyweight.
End of 2, 7-1 lead, Craig over Gaines.
Defense. Who's the defense? Top. Top.
Bottom position for Craig, trying to switch out.
Well, what Gaines has to do here, he is trailing 7-1. Obviously, he wants to keep his man down, not give that man any more points, because shortly it could be a 4-point decision for a major. But at the same time, he's already been hit for stalling, so he has to keep wrestling. Craig extends Gaines. He doesn't run out of mat space, which he does. He could have gotten an escape or a reversal. Gaines doing a gutty job, but don't forget, he's only had 4 varsity matches. Comes into this bout with a 1-3 record. John Craig is having a magnificent year, 16-1.
And a big reversal here. His lead is now 9-1. So John, now he has that other point secured.
Right.
If he can hold on to that differential.
And of course, Gaines on the bottom again. He's been hit for stalling. He has to keep moving, has to get his head up off the mat, has to make an attempt to come off the bottom.
Minute 10 to go. And there's a point. It's 10-1.
Next one is 2 points. 1-1, 2 and out. See Joe Durillo checking with the scorebook, asking if the next one is 2, and in fact it will be 2.
50 seconds to
Craig
go.
with a cradle. Oh my. Oh brother.
This
At least
gets
2
2.
back points.
This gets 2. It's 12-1.
But Gaines has to keep moving.
33 seconds.
11-point differential.
John Craig, 16-1 in the year. Totally in control of Richard Gaines.
And Gaines kind of hesitating on the side of the mat there, contemplating what to do next, and you cannot hesitate, not with 2 stalling calls against you.
20 seconds.
Got to keep moving.
10 seconds. And there's 2 more. 3 seconds to go. And a big win.
Oh, that's going to be a tech fall, Bob.
Tech fall. Great finish by John Craig to create the technical fall. And boy, the West Deptford fans are excited, and well, they should be, John.
Tech fall at 6 minutes even.
22-17 on the 5-point win by John Craig. And we got ourselves a match, ladies and gentlemen.
Without a doubt.
160 pounds coming up.
Well, we're going to have Brad Endrick in for West Deptford.
160 pounds. West Deptford Brad Endrick for Jeremy Mendenhall.
This is Jeremy Mendenhall for Paulsboro, Bob. Brad Endrick in for West Deptford.
Endricken's had a great season, 13-2. Mendenhall under 500, so Endricken would be the favorite in this one, yes.
Absolutely. Endricken lost in the semifinals of the Yellow Jacket tournament on the first weekend of the season. He also lost to Bill Candy of Haddonfield, who's undefeated.
He had the whizzer in. We're still neutral.
Lost to him 3-1. Mendenhall, a junior, 5 wins and 8 losses on the year. Endricken weighed in at 152 pounds. Mendenhall weighed in at 158 pounds, so they're pretty equal weight-wise, but the advantage is to West Deptford.
22-17, Paulsboro's lead, which was once 22-6, now just 5 points.
And of course, West Deptford looking for extra points at this weight class. They don't want 3. They'll take 4, 5, or 6, but I'm sure they don't want to settle for 3.
Minute 6 to go, first period. No score. Hendricken and Mendenhall. John, it could go right down to heavyweight again, just like last year.
Oh, it certainly could, Bob. I think West Deptford's favorite at 60. I think their favorite at 71. Got a double stall call. And of course, you very rarely see stalling called this late in the match. A lot of officials will start out very aggressively calling stalling early. As the match wears on, a lot of officials just kind of forget that stalling can still go on. Joe DeRoe does not forget.
30 seconds to go, scoreless first period, Hendricken and Mendenhall. Nice job by Mendenhall of countering. And Hendricken might be slightly shaken up. Ten seconds in the period. That's it. End of one period. No score. Brad Hendricken, West Deptford. Jeremy Mendenhall, Paulsboro. Paulsboro leading 22-17.
That way, face that way.
Mendenhall's choice in that bout, and he deferred to the third period, so that puts Hendricken on the bottom.
Nice job of breakdown by Mendenhall.
Well, but the thing is, what are you going to be careful of here is there's been a double stall warning. So even though he breaks him down there, he's got to start working for a pin, get out perpendicular, can't ride parallel, because he could get called for stalling.
13 seconds into the second period, still 0-0, Hendricken Mendenhall.
Caution, red! Get that foot back! Get that foot back! That foot has to go back! On top!
Drillo's like a third announcer in this match, man.
Well, and besides the hand on the navel and the other hand behind the elbow, you have to clear the back legs with your foot. Mendenhall trying to go for the near side cradle. Doing a fine job so far. I mean, you know, you have a wrestler here that has the credentials of Brad Hendricken, 13-2, and Jeremy Mendenhall, 5-8. Doing a fine job.
Still scoreless. There's a point for West Deptford. 1-0 for Brad Hendricken.
Now listen to the conversation here.
Attempt to take him. No, he's got to take him down. He's got to take him down.
I see some officials, if the man on top is attempting to take the guy down, the guy is repelling him and battling him, don't let it go a little longer. Joe's from the school that you got 5 seconds. If you don't take him down or appear like you're trying to take him down, you're going to get hit. And Hendricken is leading 1-0 because of the stall call. Gotta get some escape.
Now 2-0 for Hendricken on the neutral. 1:05 to go second period. Now a key spot in the match as Hendricken is up by 2.
Well, the people that did make it in tonight, Bob, certainly got their money's worth.
Well, it's been a fascinating match.
Yes, it has.
Been a long way to go. And there's a takedown for Hendricken. His lead now is 4-0, and the West Deptford fans really starting to heat up.
down, you're down.
41 seconds to go in the second.
Hendricken trying to get the cross body right in. Stalemate called.
With 27 seconds to go.
Neither wrestler can improve his position, Bob, so top man had a cross body right in and wanted to work to turn his man over, but...
Stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down.
Mendenhall is hurt.
Yes,
He is in pain.
Yes,
Stay
he
down,
is.
stay down.
Another default, and there's
Wow.
nothing illegal about this one. He may have hurt his wrist or his hand.
He is definitely in pain.
Yeah, or the ribs.
Did not see what happened, John, did you?
No, I think as he got broken down, either his ribs took a shot or his wrist took a shot, but I don't see him holding his wrist.
Yeah, I saw, yeah. I don't
Watch his wrist in this, Bob, on the breakdown.
Yeah, when I saw it coming, I was coming around. Yeah.
Right under his body, it
right
looked
under
like.
his body.
Yeah.
The right hand, the right wrist.
His arms up forward, right in the mat, okay? And that, I guess the elbow went with it.
And this is not an illegal hold. This is not an illegal hold, Bob. There's nothing illegal about it. So if he cannot continue after 2 minutes of injury time,
Let me know when it's a
Hendricken will win by injury default and get 6 points for his team.
Wow.
1 minute, Paul.
So they have 60 seconds to,
He might have hit his crazy bone, Bob.
I think he might be all right. It's going to be okay, John. Looked like it could have been serious.
Yeah, at first I thought it was his wrist that turned under, but I think he came down on his elbow, and it's like hitting your crazy bone.
We got it.
All right, 24 seconds to go, and Mendenhall said he's okay to resume.
30 seconds left. Let's go.
30 seconds of injury time remaining.
Let's go, let's go. Come on, Jeremy.
15 seconds. Hendricken trying to maneuver Mendenhall into a pinning position.
There's a count.
5 seconds. 2 seconds. And he gets the three-pointer. That's 7-0 lead for Brad Hendricken.
Use that cross-body ride to pry him over. Calls for his choice and chooses neutral.
Hendricken in on a single.
He's like a shark in the water now.
9-0 for Brad Hendricken.
Hendricken with a cross-body right in, Bob. He's trying to pry him over. I don't know if I wouldn't try to get a fresh start, although now he's starting to turn him.
1,003.
More back
Two
points.
count only. Here we go again. It's only a 2 count. 1,001. No, it's only a 2 count. It's only a 2 count. 2 count. 2 count.
So it's 13, doesn't it, John?
11. 11-0. Got a 2-point near fall. He started his count. You can hear him tell Hendricken, as you see a stalemate call. He's telling Hendricken only had a 2 count because once the plane is broken, he has to start the count all over again. The same pinning combination is in there.
57 seconds to go. 11-0 lead for Brad Hendricken.
Flat. Gotta be flat. Stop.
He's got the move on the bottom, or he's going to get hit with stalling again. There's the pry again.
we go. 1,001. 1,002. 1,003.
More back points.
1,004. 1,005.
28 seconds in the period.
Oh, my. Oh, brother.
He could have him. 19 got it. 18 seconds to go. And Brad Interkin pins Jeremy Mendenhall. And West Deptford leads 23-22. West Deptford with 17 unanswered points to take the lead 23-22.
Oh, the default, a big default, Bob. The injury default at 145 pounds. We're going to have Frank Damager from Paulsboro. This will be Brian Campbell.
Campbell and Damager?
Right. Brian Campbell weighed in at 167.5 pounds. Damager on the first weigh-in weighed 152.
Damager 14
He weighed
and
149
6.
the first time he weighed in, but he got a half an hour to weigh in. He later weighed in 152.5, which makes him eligible for this weight class. I think the matchup looked for here was Damager against Narcissi. But this is Brian Campbell, who's 11 and 6. He's a senior. Frankie Damager, 14 and 6. He's a senior.
We're at 171 pounds. What a match. West Deptford 23, Paulsboro 22. 4 matches to go.
3 more after this weight class. There's no injury time here because of bleeding. That means that Tom Narcissi is going to be bumped up, and he's going to go against whoever Paulsboro sends out at 189 pounds. And there are 2 eligibles for Paulsboro: Ted Holloway, sophomore with a 0-1 record, and Wayne Hampton, a senior with a 1-0 record. Hampton's been hurt, recently signed with Rutgers on a football grant. Has not wrestled since the quad meet against Millville. He wrestled against Millville in his only match this year.
Minute 33 to go, first period. Frank Damager, Paulsboro. Brian Campbell, West Deptford, 171 pounds. Paulsboro led 22-6, John, but then the key match of the night at 145, it's turned around ever since.
Yes, it has.
Pete DiBiase, you can imagine the butterflies he has at this point, trying to end the streak.
Frank Damager's father, Lou Damager, wrestled on Paulsboro's 1967 team, and he was second in the districts.
It was blood, Pete. He just wrapped it. It was blood. He wrapped it so he won't keep stopping it. Nah, not at all.
Oh, what a big match this is. Damager and Campbell. West Deptford up by a point.
It's a huge match.
Oh, great move by Campbell for the takedown, leads it 2-0.
Nice spin behind.
Minute 9 to go in the first, and Brian Campbell has the jump on Damager.
Campbell's got to be careful riding the leg. Oh my, almost. There's the neutral.
Damager gets a point, trails 2-1.
Campbell kind of got overextended, and Damager almost caught him with a pry. Damager in on a single. And might see a stalemate here. Yeah.
25 seconds in the period. There it is. 2-1 lead, Campbell over Damager with 21 seconds to go in the first.
See that break, man? Scissors, both.
Joe talking to you, John.
Yeah. Joe's alert, there's no doubt about it.
Neutral, got the whizzer in.
I like Derillo. I think he's called a great match, John.
He has, certainly has. He's on fire tonight.
2 seconds. The end of one period at 171 pounds. West Efford's Brian Campbell leading Frank Daminger 2-1. Just about as tight as you can get it. 23-22 West Efford. 17 points in a row.
Well, Paulsboro has dominated the lower weights, winning 5 out of 7 bouts, but they have not won a bout since the halfway point.
Stall warning against Campbell.
Well, there again, when the bottom man gets to his feet and you're the offensive wrestler, you have to get him to the mat. Campbell is high. Oh my! God, Campbell, a good job to go back in a hurry.
Oh, it's 2-2 on the neutral by Campbell, or by Daminger. And now Campbell indicating he may be injured.
Well, it looks like he got a little bit of a cramp in the calf. Being attended to.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him before, yeah. I've seen him. I like him like this.
Joe Derillo commenting to the coaches from West Efford. He likes it like this. Well, it certainly is worth everybody's money.
All right, they're back to square one. 2-2 tie, neutral position, 1:15 to go second period. And a very pivotal match at 171.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt, Bob. I think Paulsboro has to win here, and they have to, you know, they have to win one of the next 2, I think.
But a big takedown for Brian Campbell, his lead 4-2.
Daminger got a little high that time, tried the headlock, and Campbell slipped it. He got the 2.
No back point.
1 count.
40 seconds in the period.
Campbell with the cross-body ride in.
20 seconds in the period.
Got a stalemate.
And 17 seconds to go as Brian Campbell with the takedown here in the second period, leading 4-2 over Frank Daminger.
Thanks to a takedown in the first period and the second period.
Ten seconds.
Got to free the leg. Got to free the leg.
He gets one for a neutral. That could be it. Pete DiBiase's off his chair. He's upset. 4-3. He didn't like that call. That's a big point for Frank Daminger. Gets it to within 1 point.
I've seen that call go where there is no neutral given.
Top position to Frank Daminger. Big reversal for Campbell, 6-3. Terrific move by Brian Campbell.
The Grammy roll. Pressure on Daminger. He's down 6-3, so he has to get out. somehow have to find 3 points just to tie it up.
Campbell keeping his control. Minute 23 to go.
That's a figure 4 on the body, and I think that, I thought it was a figure 4 on the body. On the leg. All right, it was on the leg. Had it been on the body, would have been an illegal hold, the figure 4 on the body. But had it on the leg, so a stalemate was called.
Minute 10 to go. 6-3 lead for Brian Campbell, trying to extend West Deptford's lead. "55 seconds to go.
Easy with that arm. Potentially dangerous on the shoulder.
52 seconds. Oh, a lot of pressure on Frank Damager. Both wrestlers.
Yep. Second timeout for the West Deptford wrestler.
Yeah, I know. That was a neutral all the way. He had a neutral before when he gave it. He was. Right. The hips are out.
He just wants to hold on to call it?
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. Pete, I called that a million times for Pete in his life.
Now, Joe DeVoe explaining why he gave the neutral at the end of
that was, I know.
second period.
52 seconds to go. Damager needs to do some work on the bottom, trailing by 3.
Damager needs a big three-point explosion somewhere here, Bob, an escape and right back in for a takedown or reversal on back points. Campbell doing a great job of riding him. Everything Damager's thrown at him, he's countered.
35 seconds to go. West Deptford up by a point. Campbell trying to make it at least 4. "25 seconds to go.
Campbell getting high.
And 20 seconds. Brian Campbell leading Frank Damager 6-3.
Good move on West Deptford's part. That Brian Campbell here and moved Narcissi up to 89.
Ten seconds. Brian Campbell of West Deptford. 2 seconds, and that'll do it. So a big win for Brian Campbell as West Deptford extends its lead to 26-22. And that's 20 straight points for the Eagles. A lot more excitement to come. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Who's been injured and has only had one match, comes out for West Deptford. It's Tom Narcissi.
Tom Narcissi, a senior, the fraternal twin brother of Tim Narcissi. 14-5 this year. His losses twice in the Yellow Jacket tournament where he finished 5th. He lost to Collingswood 7-4. He lost to Joe Harry of Kingsway 11-6. And he was disqualified against Camden Catholic. Lost by disqualification. Tries for a headlock takedown. Hampton, as we mentioned earlier, only one bout before tonight. A win against Millville.
Hampton coming off an extraordinary football season. All South Jersey performer. Terrific athlete.
He was all South Jersey offense, Bob, and he was all state defense.
Minute to go first period. No score. Hampton and Narcissi.
Mix it up.
Narcissi wins here, Bob, and Mike Shields went to the next weight class. You have a meet that is clinched, and Paulsboro can't win it. This is so pivotal for Paulsboro.
A lot of pressure on Hampton.
Great job fighting it off.
25 seconds. Still neutral. Oh, Paulsboro fans trying to rally Wayne Hampton, and the West Deptford fans sensing the end of the streak, John. They are really into this.
They're inches away. Inches away. If they win this bout, all the pressure is on John David against Mike Shields. Of course, last year all the pressure was on Mike Shields.
2 takedowns.
I got 2 takedown given and injury time.
Narcissi injured, and they're coming out again. Boy, that's been
His head hit the mat.
a lot of injury timeouts in this
His
match.
head hit the mat. The forehead hit the mat.
All right, the explanation there as Hampton was getting the takedown, spinning behind. Narcissi's head come down, forehead come down, hit the mat. That's why the 2 points was given. And another injury timeout.
2-0 lead Hampton. We're at 189 pounds. West Paulsboro led this match 22 to 6. It is now 26 to 22. 20 unanswered points by West Deptford.
Yeah, 2-0. He had to have a takedown. Yeah.
2-0. All right.
Wayne Hampton heading to Rutgers, John.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Well, I'm happy for Hamp.
You're down.
He's been a starter with the Red Raider football team since his sophomore year. He's worked very hard. He's made quite a sacrifice this year. He could have just thrown this season right out the window and worked on building his weight up for college, but he also runs track and field, and he wants to do that for Paulsboro also this year.
End of 1, 2-0 lead Hampton.
West Deptford choice. Defense. He chooses the defense.
Big, big match for Paulsboro.
Put your knees behind the line, your hands in front of the line. Put your knees behind the line, your hands in front of the line. Up top.
What you're dealing with here, Bob, is Tom Narcissi, who has wrestled 19 times coming in this bout against Wayne Hampton. As good an athlete as he might be, having only wrestled 1 time.
And a reversal by Narcissi makes it a 2-2 match.
And he's got the legs in.
And a reversal by Hampton leads it 4-2. .120 to go, second period. Must win for Paulsboro.
A must-win situation, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Hampton was sailing along last year, come district time, Bob, and in the quarterfinals of the districts, he was pinning his opponent, got his back too far over, was called for a defensive pin, and lost.
4-3 lead on the neutral by Narcissi. 45 seconds to go in the second. Single by Hampton.
Took the shot from too far out, Bob. He got extended. He's got to get his knees up under him. Kind of a stalemate situation.
And a reversal by Narcissi. He leads it 5-4. 20 seconds to go in the period.
He got the takedown there because Hampton had his leg, and normally you don't see it go that long. A lot of times it's called a stalemate. He's got a neutral here.
3 seconds in the period.
Trying to get behind reversal. He got
Doesn't
one.
get it. He just gets one. It's 5-5 heading into the third. Can't get it any closer than this.
Choice, Paulsboro, let's go! Let's go! Defense! Defense, let's go! Let's go!
P.T. Biazzi hitting over there when Hampton was laying down. His coaches told him to take defense, go on the bottom. And from laying down on the mat, Hampton sort of indicated up, but what he meant was down. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Potentially dangerous call by Derillo.
West Deptford injury timeout.
And Narcissi needs a timeout. Record number of injury timeouts tonight, John?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
1 minute left. 1 minute left. Yeah, we'll get it.
Bob, you could cut it with a knife when you were walking in here tonight. The atmosphere, the tension, the streak on the line. West Deptford has wrestled
cut the
so
injury
well.
time. Take care of that blood.
And
Cut
they
the
got
injury
that.
time. Cut the injury
Got
time.
the injury default win, which was that's part of the sport, part of wrestling.
Huh? All right. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
1:51 to go, 5-5. Hampton and Narcissi. 189-pound match, 2 matches to follow. And Hampton with a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He really has to win this match if Paulsboro hopes to pull this one out.
Well, Narcissi got the legs in, and he can pry him from there. Hampton's got to be careful not to expose his own back. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Oh, boy, would this be something if Narcissi can put Hampton away. Hampton fighting, battling.
At least 3 points for Narcissi. Hampton fighting off his back.
3-point near fall, and it makes it 8-5 Narcissi with 1:15 to go.
He's got back points coming again.
3, 4, 2 count.
Just not enough wrestling for Hampton this year, Bob. 2 more points.
10-5 Narcissi with a minute to go.
Potentially dangerous on that arm. Get off his head. Injury time, Reds.
And now Hampton wants an injury timeout. Well, listen to the West Deptford fans.
Well, Bob, it's just a regular decision here makes it a 7-point lead. And that would bring it down to 2 bouts to go. So if West Deptford were to win at 2:15, the meet is clinched, regardless of what Rockland were to do at heavyweight.
Pete DiBiasio motioning to the crowd, John. He wants to get the crowd into this for West Deptford, and they're in it.
But they are. Hampton has had a knee injury this year, Bob. The fact is, he is scheduled for arthroscopic surgery. I don't know when. I thought it would be before now. But he's putting on a gutty performance out there. But it shows as good an athlete as he is. When the other wrestler has been on the mat 19 times before this bout.
Big difference. Hampton is tired, too.
He's tired. He's not in good wrestling shape.
Let's go, let's go, let's go,
And he's hurting. Courageous performance.
58 seconds to go. 10-5 lead, Narcissi over Hampton.
Come on, you're down. Let's
West
go.
Deptford
Let's
26,
go.
Paulsboro 22. $53 seconds.
I imagine Linda Narcissi, Tommy's mother, the mother of the fraternal twins, must be having tons of butterflies right now.
Going red! Going red! Get up there!
Hampton gets a point, 10-6, needs a takedown quickly, 45 seconds.
Or some kind of a throw. If he gets some kind of a throw, he needs more than 2.
There's a takedown for Narcissi, 12-6 with 30 seconds to go.
This bout's over, Bob. This bout's over, and the streak may be over.
25 seconds.
Got at least 2 back points.
14-6, so he's got a 4-point decision right now if that holds. 10 seconds to go. 7 seconds. Narcissi is going to defeat Hampton, and West Deptford closing in on ending the streak. That'll do it.
A 3-point near fall.
17-6 win for Narcissi. Paulsboro forced to win the last 2 matches if they're going to pull this out. It's 30-22.
Let's go, let's go. Get your head here.
That's 5 in a row. A commanding 30-22 lead. 1 more win, and the streak is history. 1 more win by West Deptford, the streak is history.
Paulsboro down by 8 points. 2 matches to go. John David of Paulsboro And Mike Shields of West Deptford, all the pressure in the world on John David.
Well, Bob, he has to at least win in order for Paulsboro to win this meet. Mikey Shields wins, West Deptford wins. And of course, in 1968, it was Mike's father, Jimmer Shields, that handed Gene Barber his first loss that season and helped West Deptford hand Paulsboro its last loss in this series.
Still neutral. David 16-3, Shields 15-3.
Mike Shields, a junior, lost twice in the Yellow Jacket tournament where he placed 5th, and then he lost 13-4 to Sean Laughlin of Lower Cape May.
Watch your head on the whistle.
John David lost to Eugene Klein of Somerville 2-2 on a tiebreaker. He lost to Eric Leonard of Great Bridge 4-2, and he lost to Joe Howell of Delran 5-4.
1:16 to go. First period, no score.
John David, Bob, one of the most courageous wrestlers I've watched this year. Of course, not being as tall as a lot of his opponents, that has to be a decisive factor. You've seen Mike Shields come close to throwing him. But John David has the heart of a lion.
.55 seconds to go in the period.
Of course, Mike Shields, Bob, has been through the mill the last 2 years. A year ago, the Paulsboro West Deptford match came right down to him, and he put Jermaine Ruffin on his back. And in the first period, Ruffin fought his way off his back and back to win 10-6. He was on the line in the Group 2 playoffs against Pinelands when somebody lost count of the technical points, the penalty points. He ended up losing by disqualification on the penalty point chart. And of course, this year, against Mike Borzio, in the Kingsway West Deptford match, all the pressure on Shields. He beat Matt Borzio. See a double stall call. Beat Matt Borzio, and that, of course, is how West Deptford was enabled them to win that dual meet.
No score, 15 seconds to go in the period. David and Shields. Must-win situation for Paulsboro and John David. Three seconds in the period. End of one, no score, David and Shields. John David has to win, then Jermaine Ruffin has to win for Paulsboro if they can pull it out, and they need more than 2 threes. They need major decisions or more.
All right. If John David were to win this match by regular decision, that's still 30-25, a 5-point difference going into the last bout.
Bottom position for David, starting the second. Gets a point, so Paulsboro's John David with the first point of the match, leading Mike Shields 1-0.
John David, of course, a very big win against Collingswood in the dual meet. Fought Steve Dybus and pinned him in the first period with a throw. But even though he was almost thrown in this bout by Mike Shields, he's certainly capable of a big throw also.
1:29 to go in the second.
Well, we've seen juggling in this match. We've seen a real chess match. Most of the moves have paid off for West Deptford.
And David gets the takedown, 3-0 for Paulsboro's John David. That gets the Paulsboro fans, John, who've been quiet lately, and understandably so, that gets them back in the match a little bit.
Well, the ruling there that felt that John David had possession when they hit, and his toes were in bounds. John
Breakdown
David
by David.
has to keep working. He's at a height disadvantage, so he has to work.
50 seconds. Second period. Potentially dangerous call by Durillo.
Well, you have about 10 coaches on the Paulsboro side. Paul Marina demonstrating on Dean Duke, what you'd like to see. Nicky Marina chewing his nails. Tyrone Hamilton jumping up and down. Jimmy Pandolfo up from behind his video camera offering advice.
40 seconds in the period.
He's got to come off that leg or he's going to get hit with stalling. And they've already had a double stall call. There's an escape.
Point for Shields. 3-1 lead for David.
John David has to keep the pressure on. He has to keep motion going.
20 seconds in the period. And 12 seconds.
John David is a little bit stronger than what he looks, Bob. Did a nice job as a...
That's 4-1 now for David. With 10 seconds to go in the period.
Well, and you saw there a perfect example of the official wants action. And if there's no action, you have stalling.
End of 2. John David of Paulsboro leading Mike Shields of West Deptford 4-1. David must win if Paulsboro has any chance at all to pull this out at heavyweight.
He has to win, and then Jermaine Ruffin would have to get a pin against an unbeaten wrestler who's won every match this year by fall. A lot of pressure on John David, a lot of pressure on Mikey Shields. Cradle near side, but that height disadvantage, Bob, it betrays John David.
And Shields gets the point, 4-2. He's back in it. Takedown can get it even.
Mike Shields has been hit with a stalling point. John David's been hit with a stalling call. They have to wrestle.
Minute 27.
Boy, what an interesting District 29 tournament is going to be with Matt Borzio, Mikey Shields, and John David in that weight class.
Minute 20 to go.
Another injury timeout. Surprise, surprise.
Wow, I have never seen so many injury timeouts, John.
Well, you know, you go to the Nationals and Division I wrestling, Bob, and you see it constantly. Of course, there's so many studs on Division I. They're so equally balanced, and they really bang each other out there. And more and more each year, we've seen a lot of injury timeouts in the district and regional tournaments. They must be watching those college tapes.
Minute 14 to go, third period. John David of Paulsboro leading Mike Shields 4-2. And David must win. Must win if Paulsboro has any hope to continue its streak.
Boy, a few years ago, Paulsboro was in a great match with Paul VI High School over at Paul VI, where it came right down to heavyweight. And Darren Dubdansky was involved. He had to get an escape in order to prevent a major decision in order for Paulsboro to win at that time.
John David getting the Paulsboro fans in it.
Well, he's excited. He's excited. He has to stay mentally under control out there.
David leading by 2, has to win. Minute 6.
John David, another key member of that Paulsboro High School football team this year, and they had 2 great battles with West Deptford the last 2 years.
55 seconds.
Well, earlier today, Paul Marina had his boys in to roll around, and he told them this is what it's all about. It's going to be a great match tonight, and this is what you've worked for. All the hours of practice, all the hours of running, the sacrifices of cutting weight. This is what it comes down to.
35 seconds to go. David by 2's got to win.
West Deptford has won 5 bouts in a row, Bob. They need this. Paulsboro needs it to stop the bleeding.
Twenty seconds. 15 seconds to go, and if David can hold on, it'll get down to heavyweight just like last year.
Almost a caution there by Mike Shields. Before the whistle blew, he was rolling.
10 seconds. 5 seconds to go.
Amazing. Simply amazing.
3 seconds. And a takedown, that'll do it for David. He'll win it. Final score 6-2. John David of Paulsboro defeats Mike Shields and gives the Raiders a chance to win it at heavyweight. It's going to come down to the final match.
Right down to the end. You couldn't write the script any better.
Jermaine Ruffin and Pat Paley's. Ruffin 17-1. Paley's undefeated, all pins at 7-0, and what a finish. Whoa, listen to the fans.
Jermaine Ruffin hasn't lost since opening day. 17-1. He got pinned by Anthony Cassiano of Caldwell in the finals of the Caldwell tournament. Pat Paley's, of course, 7-0, all pins. Father is Jeff Paley's, who wrestled for Washington Township High School. In fact, his Andy Ty of West Deptford beat Jeff Paley's of Washington Township in 1970 in the Region 4 Finals.
1:28 to go, first period, no score, and of course Ruffin has to win by a pin to give Paulsboro the win. He gets a takedown. Ruffin leads Palis 2-0.
Paley's weighed in at 246 pounds. Ruffin weighed in at 265 pounds.
Lets him go, 2-1. Minute 5 to go, first period.
What a great match. What a great match. A lot of pressure on a youngster like Pat Paley's, who didn't wrestle the first half of this year, coming off an injury. Didn't wrestle last year.
Takedown for Ruffin. He leads it 4-1. 50 seconds to go.
Of course, the scenario in this weight class, if Ruffin gets a tech fall, the meet ends up in a tie.
Yeah.
And you have co-champions in the Colonial Conference, and the streak would still be intact.
44 seconds to go, first period.
Came right down to Ruffin last year. He beat Mike Shields. Paulsboro won to continue the streak.
4-2, he lets him go again. Seconds in the period.
No takedown yet because the hand is there. Now the hand goes.
Takedown.
6-2 Ruffin, 13 seconds in the period.
Well, with Paley's pinning a lot of people this year, Bob, chances are he hasn't been in the third period very often. See him hit with a stalling call.
2 seconds, 1, that'll do it for the first. So Jermaine Ruffin of Paulsboro with a 6-2 lead over Pat Paley's, but a 3-pointer or a 4-pointer won't do it. Needs a technical fall to tie, needs a pin to win it for Paulsboro and keep the streak alive.
West Deptford takes the bottom. this ends up tied, Bob, it stays a tie. When you go to group competition where a team has to advance, then they have a list of criteria to follow so a team can advance.
6-3 on the neutral by Palis. A big takedown by Ruffin leads it 8-3. 1:20 to go. Second period. 8-4. That's going to be a strategy. Palis looks like he might be hurt, John.
Well, he was hurt earlier this year, too, and he didn't start wrestling until midway through the season.
Another injury timeout on a record-breaking pace.
As they tend to, Pat Paley's on the side there. In the background, you see Paul Marina down on the mat with Jermaine Ruffin, kind of indicating what he'd like to see him try from the top position.
Minute 8 to go, second period. An 8-4 lead, Ruffin over Palis, but the more important number is 30-25. West Deptford leading Paulsboro. Pete DiBiase chewing on a fingernail. It would be the biggest win in his career, John.
This ranks right up there with the state championship down in Atlantic City last year for length of match. I've never seen so many injury timeouts, and of course we got set back with a half-hour delay tonight when we had an injury default at 145 pounds. Mike Kendrick winning by injury default over Jason Brown as a result of a slam 37 seconds into the first period.
We're neutral. We're neutral. We're neutral.
I think we're neutral.
We're neutral.
Another takedown for Ruffin. It's now 10-4 with 49 seconds to go in the second.
Pat Paley's, of course, the son of Jeff Paley's, who wrestled at Washington Township and Glasper State, and his uncle is
King Kong Bundy.
That King Kong Bundy. Chris Paley, who wrestled for Washington Township.
Another takedown. Ruffin all over Palis. 12-5. 41 seconds to go in the second. I guess we'll just keep letting him go now, John. It's got to be a strategy. He's got to at least get to the tech fall.
Well, he's gonna let him go here again, I think. Yeah, he didn't let him go. He started the freestyle start, but came in for the near side cradle.
$12-6. Another takedown for Ruffin. It's 14-6, 10 seconds to go. Another point for a stall, 15-6, 3 seconds to go. That'll do it for 2 periods. Ruffin building a big lead, 15-6. But remember, if Paulsboro is going to win this outright, he's got a pin.
He's got a pin, or he's got to win by disqualification because of stalling. The next one is 2 points.
Jones, what'd you choose? Down? A neutral? No. All right. You told it first time. All right. Yes, you did. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right.
So Ruffin will take the bottom position. He's out quickly. 17-6.
That's 11-point differential.
John, we could have a tie match, you know that?
We certainly could.
Oh, boy.
That's the second injury timeout. The second injury timeout for Pat Paley's.
Boy, this has been one of the strangest athletic events, John, that I can recall seeing.
Well, what Ruffin has to do now, he has to keep the pressure on because there's a minute 45 left in the match. If Pally's gets hit with another stalling call, it's a two-pointer.
That's the second injury time.
That would make
I believe that was the second one, yeah.
That would make it a 13-point differential if it happens right away. And you got to be careful of the technical fall at that point because technical fall simply is 5 points for Paulsboro, and that would leave you with a tie match.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go!
John.
He cannot continue. He wins by default. Injury default. Paulsboro wins the meet.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Paulsboro has won the match as Pat Taylor's is unable to continue. And look at the Paulsboro fans. This is an incredible development. Final score 31-30. What an incredible development.
Good job, Gus. Good job.
This is amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis.
Pat Taylor's unable to continue his 6-point win
No.
on the injury default.
Amazing.
Mike Jackson.
Amazing.
31-30 final score. Paulsboro wins. John, it looked impossible.
Well, it looked impossible, but that's that Paulsboro pride. That's the mystique of this place. That's 209 in a row in the Colonial Conference. That's the 28th consecutive win for the West Deptford, the 25th consecutive Colonial Conference title for Paulsboro.
All right,
They keep their unbeaten streak alive for 46 weeks.
All right, we're going to take time out from Paulsboro. Final score, Paulsboro 31, West Deptford 30. We'll come back and wrap this up after this. Bob Shryock, Matt side with Paul Marine of the Paulsboro wrestling coach. A very emotional Paul Marine. Never seen you like this, Paul. This was an unbelievable night.
I can't believe it. They wrestled their hearts out. I mean, every kid stepped on that mat wrestled their hearts out tonight. Even in the losing causes, we had some kids that were mismatched, but they showed so much class and pride. And at the end with Pickle, he deserved every bit of that.
John David with a great deal of pressure with 2:15. He came through for you, Paul.
They worked so hard, these guys. I tell you, they worked so hard. And this week, especially with a lot of pressure on us, we go on the mat with a lot of people wanting to see us lose because we're always we're always the favorites. And I just think that we felt like everybody was against us, but these kids just sucked it up, put the pressure behind us, and then being behind like we did, on a misfortunate with a slam, our kids sucked it up again. I take my
one of the
hat
most
to them.
unusual matches I think I've ever seen.
I know, it was. I tell you, I can't explain it. It's just a whole lot of pressure.
This ranks high for you, doesn't it, Paul? We can tell.
Yeah, definitely the finest win ever because
It looked like you were out of it,
Yeah,
Paul.
everybody did.
Yeah.
And John David, what a heart. Beats one of the better kids. And that says it all there. I'm really proud of him. Frankie Damager, Jeremy Mendenhall staying out there hurt, wrestling us behind off. G Gaines, he got teched. But if he would have got pinned, it would have been a tie match at this point. You can go all the way down David Gibbons, then me and Green. You go all down the lineup, and it was a total effort.
Paul, congratulations. Okay, thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy Ruffin in here. Jerry, congratulations. All the pressure in the world on your shoulders, you came through.
Yeah, can never let my team down. I don't care what the circumstances is.
You knew what you had to do, Jeremy. What was your strategy?
To wear him down, because I know he wasn't going to be able to stay with me on the mat.
Were you surprised you couldn't continue?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought he would get up,
What were you going to do in that third period had he come back?
I can go for a pin any way I know how. Go for a pin.
You've had a lot of great athletic accomplishments here, but how about this individually for you? Not only the team, but individually for you, winning this match, keeping the streak alive.
it's great for me, but, you know, I love my team. I'm good for my team every time. Every time it comes down to me, I'm always there for them. This is always going to be a team thing for me.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Okay, let's get John David in here.
All right, Bob, without John David, that doesn't come down on Jermaine Ruffin's shoulders. John David's one of the most courageous wrestlers I've seen all year, from Deep Creek all the way to here.
You had to win it. You knew that, John.
I knew I had to win it, but I want to go for the pin so I can take some pressure off Jermaine's shoulders. But he told me, yo, just go out there, wrestle your match. Don't worry about pinning lead after me. So I'm like, all right. I was go out there, I wrestled my match, I stayed low, I watched for the headlock. I looked at the coaches, listened to them, did everything I had to do. Everything worked out for itself.
You look confident.
Yeah. After Jason Brown's match, I just went mad. I just went wild. I went in the locker room, started jumping some rope. Let's do some music. Try to get my mind together, try to think. Just get my mind together for the match.
You had the pressure on you. You gave Ruffin a chance. Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care, man.
John Vogening, I've seen a lot of strange athletic events in my time. So have you. This one's got to rank near the top.
Oh, Bob, it does. You know, the first Pemberton Paulsboro match, the group championships, the colonial championships. West Deptford has a great wrestling team. We figured this out on paper ahead of time. It could go either way. Paulsboro's in the driver's seat. West Deptford fought back. They deserved a better fate, but the mystique goes on. 209 consecutive Colonial Conference wins, 28 years of consecutive wins over West Deptford. Truly amazing.
I don't think you can minimize the effort West Deptford put up tonight, John.
Not at all. They did a great job. I thought that when Paulsboro got Casey Brown out there in a position against Vespi, that was in Paulsboro's favor. Vespi had wrestled a courageous bout. He won. That set the table. They got a injury default on a very good slam call. That certainly was a slam. Paulsboro stared adversity in the face, and they came back from it.
John, always good working with you. I appreciate it very much. You did a terrific job as usual.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, a final score again from Paulsboro High School. The Red Raiders 31, West Deptford 30. The streak continues.
Well, but Seneca is a senior.
Right.
He's been through these